At Minute Maid Park in Houston, home of the Houston Astros, and they have really played well in this ballpark this season. Houston, since May 23rd, with the best record in baseball, 39-21, and the Blue Jays haven't been able to figure out how to win a game here in this ballpark. They have lost 8 straight games, and when you talk to John Gibbons, he kind of scratches his head, but you have a tough time explaining why the Blue Jays are just 2-13 in this ballpark.
They've got power pitchers in this ballpark, and there's something about this field. Talking to some of the players today, they said it's hard to pick the ball up at home plate. The backdrop here, the background for the hitting background is not very good. They haven't gotten used to it. They haven't won a game here in over 2 years, like you were just saying, and they have been outplayed by the Houston Astros in all facets of the game. Double the score. Look at that. Houston has scored 82 runs to the Blue Jays, 42 runs here. I mean, everything about it. They lost a tough one last night. It looked like they were going to come back and snatch one from them, but they gave up the run late. Just been a tough place to play. You're in a dome. It's quiet. You don't have the atmosphere here. You got a lot of power pitchers for the Astros. The Blue Jays need to figure out a way to come up with a couple of wins here in this series.
And they're going to face a very good young pitcher in Lance McCullers, who has a terrific record coming out of the month of July. He is a power pitcher with the ability to rack up strikeouts, and the Blue Jays struck out 22 times last night. Take a look at the lineup for John Gibbons' Blue Jays. They are tied with the Boston Red Sox, a game behind Baltimore in the AL East. Jose Bautista moves back into the leadoff spot. Josh Donaldson back in the lineup, and he's got good numbers against the Astros for his career, an OPS over 1 with 23 extra base hits and 29 RBIs, and he has 5 home runs in this ballpark. Devin Travis was the only Blue Jay to have 2 hits in last night's game, and he's been swinging a hot bat over his last 11 games, hitting nearly .370 with 5 doubles, a home run, and 4 RBIs. The Blue Jays offensively have been in a funk lately, and it's going to be tough to come out of it tonight against Lance McCullers.
They got to get back on track because he has been their most dominant pitcher lately. Back-to-back strikeout games, the first Astro pitcher to do that since Wandy Rodriguez in 2010. 6-4, 318 earned run average. He's allowed just 1 run in 5 of his last 6 games with an ERA of 2 and 50 strikeouts in those 30 innings. This is the first time that the Blue Jays have seen him.
2 of the best defensive ball clubs in the American League head-to-head tonight. Colby Rasmus was in center. He's in left tonight. Carlos Gomez back in center field, and George Springer's in right. Bregman, Correa, Altuve, and Reed. A.J. Reed just recalled from the minor leagues, and Jason Castro teams up with Lance McCullers to make the battery.
That's a big prospect over there. Second stint with the club, second-round draft pick in 2014. He's the 2015 ESPN.com Pro Prospect of the Year. Just back up with the big club.
McCullers jumps ahead of Bautista with the first pitch strike. Quickly 0-2. McCullers has pitched very well in this ballpark. He's allowed 3 or fewer runs in all 19 of his career starts here at Minute Maid Park.
He's got a great arm, and his out pitch is a big yellow hammer curveball, hard curveball.
There it was right there. Bautista bounces back to the mound. 1 away.
He was a high draft pick for the Houston Astros, the son of Lance McCullers, former big league pitcher for the Cubs and the Padres. 13 starts this season. He got up to a little bit of a slow start. There were some injury factors involved in that, but over his last 7, look at those numbers. An ERA just over 2. Strikeouts, that's what you're going to get. Good fastball, good running action, a good curveball, and he really buckles down when the opposition has runners in scoring position. They're hitting just $150 against him.
Here is Josh Donaldson. He goes after the first pitch. This is the first time McCullers has started against the Blue Jays. Historically, that's been a problem for the Blue Jays hitters. A lot of veteran hitters, they'd like to have some experience against the pitcher they're facing. That's not the case tonight.
They want a lot of knowledge, and they want some video. They want to get a feel for what he's throwing up there. We saw that firsthand in last night's game with Chris Davinsky. First time that the Blue Jays saw him, he struck out 7 batters in a row at one point.
He didn't allow a Blue Jay hitter to reach base. 0-2 to Donaldson. There's that breaking ball, another strikeout. Donaldson strikes out on the curveball.
Well, you mentioned the great numbers that he has had here in this ballpark in his very young career. He can do it with this. The strength of that curveball is right over the top. He gets a lot of torque and a lot of spin on that baseball. His father had a great curveball, if you remember him. I'm sure he taught Junior how to throw that curveball, and it's working for him.
He throws that breaking ball very hard. His curveball has been averaging 85 miles an hour. Most curveballs you'll see in the low 80s. Even Aaron Sanchez with his great curveball, he'll throw it 84, 85 miles an hour once in a while, but not consistently like McCullers.
This guy's averaging about 12 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched in this ballpark.
There's that curveball, 86, right at the knees.
You know, we told you, we were talking about it last night, that this is a great hitter's ballpark, especially down the line for right-handers. And if you think about hitting home runs, it's a tough ballpark to hit it. A couple of the players I talked to today say it's eerie trying to stand at home plate and pick up the baseball here.
Bouncing ball, they play him in the shift, and Altuve near the bag at second, throws out Encarnacion. Good start to the ball game for 22-year-old Lance McCullers. 3 up, 3 down. R.A. Dickey needs a good start tonight in Houston. Postseason a year ago. They are second in the American League to the Texas Rangers American League West Division. Take a look at Altuve in the third spot, one of the best hitters in the game. Over his last 14 games, hitting .456, 26 hits in 14 games. He had 2 hits in last night's game, including a home run. And Carlos Gomez back in the lineup. He's been dealing with a hamstring problem, and you can see he has hit well against R.A. Dickey. 7 for 13 with a home run.
Swings hard, so that knuckleball's got to be dancing tonight. R.A. Dickey, 23rd start of the season. He's looking to snap a personal 3-game losing streak. He's given up 5 runs or more in 3 of his last 3 starts. He needs a good one tonight. 13 career games versus Houston, and his ERA is about 5 against them. 7th highest ERA against any team.
Never won a game in this ballpark, and he throws a strike to George Springer. R.A. in this ballpark, 0-3 in 5 career starts. His ERA is 6.5 here in Houston. Pretty good knuckler upstairs. It's 1-2.
Got to get that movement on the knuckleball. That's something that has been a little bit inconsistent over his last couple of starts for him.
Springer reaches for that one, hits it into the seats. R.A. understands the Blue Jays situation. He knows it very well. In fact, he went down to the bullpen last night in extra innings just in case the game would go deeper. But the Astros walked off the Blue Jays in the 14th. Fly ball into center. Pilar's got plenty of room here to Range far and wide. One down. Take a look at the Blue Jays defensively behind R.A. Dickey. Saunders is in left field. Kevin Pillar made another terrific catch in last night's game. Melvin Upton Jr. with his second career start in right field. Donaldson, Barney at short, Travis at second, and Encarnacion over at first. Josh Tolle, of course, handling the knuckleball of R.A. Dickey.
You play in this ballpark, it's a huge center field. You have to have a good center fielder. There is a lot of room out there. Pillar made that catch you were just talking about. He said he didn't really pick up the ball initially. Actually caught the ball, bent his thumb back just a little bit. He says he's okay to play, though. I'm telling you, there is a lot of room here. And if the flat part of the field wasn't enough, it actually goes up to 436 in that center field hill area.
And they have built an incline behind Kevin Pillar in center field. This is the third baseman, Alex Bregman. Off to a rough start in his young career. He has just one hit, 1 for 28 so far. That's a pretty good pitch. Think he didn't get to call. Tony Randazzo is the home plate umpire. And umpires are just like hitters and pitchers. They have timing issues as well. Big hop for Donaldson at third. 2 up, 2 down.
Well, for R.A. Dickey to be successful, he's got to keep the ball down and keep it in the ballpark. He's been giving up his share of home runs. He's been giving up his share of fly balls. Before the All-Star break, that percentage was 32%. After the All-Star break, you can see it has climbed to almost 41%. You start giving up fly balls, you're going to give up your share of home runs. And he has done that since the All-Star break.
26 home runs allowed overall. He has allowed 6 home runs in his last 3 starts. And late in June, he had a 4-home-run game. Gave up 4 home runs in Chicago to the White Sox. You remember that game? The ball was flying out of that ballpark.
Saw it in Oakland also when he gave up 3 right after the All-Star break.
This is Jose Altuve, the leading hitter in baseball. Altuve with a .356 batting average. He's 4 for 20 against R.A. Dickey with a home run.
Those two that you just saw, Altuve and Correa, were the guys who ended last night's marathon. Altuve with the leadoff base hit in the 14th, and there's Correa who won it with a double off the wall in right field. Two dynamic and very talented hitters.
Altuve bunts it, and that's going to be a gimme base hit. Altuve dropped down a beautiful bunt. Josh Donaldson was deep at third, and once it was on the ground in the grass, it was no contest. Carlos Correa last night in the 14th walked off the Blue Jays. His 4th walk-off hit this season.
Yeah, 4th game-winning RBI in extra innings this season. That's the most in the major leagues with the great speed of Altuve at first base. He's going to score easily, even without a throw. Correa with the ball off the wall in right field has got tremendous power to the gaps. Tell you why I didn't mind that bunt right there with Altuve. He's got speed. Usually with 2 outs, nobody on, you're thinking extra base hit to get yourself in the scoring position. If you drop down a bunt, he's got 25 stolen bases. I don't have a problem with that because he can get himself in the scoring position with the steal.
Dickey does a great job of neutralizing the running game, but it's always a challenge for Josh Tolle, first to catch the ball and then to make the transfer and make a good throw. Altuve 25 for 29, as Pat mentioned. R.A. has 4 pickoffs this season. He's done a good job of making quick throws to first.
Does a great job of unloading. He does a great job of holding that runner on. He'll pay attention to him over there. It looks like
off the glove.
It looks like Altuve's trying to time him up over there at first base, just standing off the base and then inching off a little bit like what we saw last night from George Springer when he had a stolen base in the first inning.
Dickey has only had 2 stolen base attempts against him all season. 1 stolen base. Bouncing ball. That's going to be a base hit. Travis in the outfield misses it. Upton makes the play. Altuve with a big turn around third. He stops there. So the Astros that rely heavily on the long ball have used a bunt and a chopped ball off the dirt. Bounced into right for 2 hits here with 2 outs.
First the bunt on a 2-1 pitch, and then this inside out ball off the dirt over the head of Encarnacion. 2 balls that haven't been hit hard, haven't traveled very far. But just like that, the Astros, with 2 outs, have runners on first and third.
And now the problem you have is that Altuve's at third. He can get a big lead as they play the shift against Colby Erasmus, and any kind of short pass ball, wild pitch, he's got a chance to score.
Oh boy, he can come down that line as far as he wants. Here comes Josh Donaldson.
Yeah, this is a little different scenario in my mind. I think you got to play Donaldson a little closer to the base because of the knuckleball pitching.
Yes, I'm with you.
Rasmus swings and misses so much. I wouldn't concern myself so much with him hitting the ball to the left side of the infield. I put Donaldson back closer to third.
Just get Altuve a little closer to the bag at third base.
Rasmus bunts it. This one is foul.
And you can guard against that.
Yeah, now I would imagine that Donaldson's going to play a little bit closer at third base. Rasmus liable to drop down a bunt again.
He's going to take a look. He's looking right there. You see him? Taking a look to see where Josh Donaldson is. Josh has moved in. That's Louis Rivera is moving around his infield.
Correa back in a hurry. I think it is such a challenge for the defense to play a shift with Dickey throwing the knuckleball, because you don't know where it's going, and you don't know how a hitter's going to hit it. That'll work. All right, Dickey slipped as he broke off the mound, but he's okay. Encarnacion steps on the bag. The Astros get a couple of 2-out hits, but Dickey strands a pair. Scoreless after 1.
Saw him slip there in the first inning. That is a bit of a concern. He actually went into the clubhouse with George Poulos as soon as the inning was over. Poulos has now come back, so that is probably some good news. They're just having a look to make sure that everything is okay with RA. But guys, the way the luck has gone for the Blue Jays and having played 26 innings over the last 2 games, I think that they need to make sure that R.A. Dickey is right and ready to go long into this one.
Yeah, he looked like he was okay, Barry, when he jogged off the infield. I think he just took a bad step as he was trying to break off the mound.
Okay.
Michael Saunders goes after the first pitch and nubs it out in front of home. McCullers throws it in the dirt, and Saunders is safe. Boy, A.J. Reed made a nice grab of that ball that was thrown in the dirt. McCullers hurried his throw and bounced it well in front of the first baseman.
Boy, what a play. He's listed at 6'4", 275 pounds, but he's very nimble on that one. Looks like they're going to take a look at this one. One more time. McCullers comes off and spikes the ball right into the ground.
Well, he might be out. Right there. Ball's in his glove. Foot's not on the base yet.
I think that's why they're going to take a look at it. Heck of a play by McCullers. Heck of a play by Reed. Now let's see if they can overturn the call.
So the umpires are down the third base line with the headsets on. Crew chief is Bill Miller. He's at first base. He made the call, and then Tony Randazzo is the home plate umpire. He's the next umpire in seniority. The replay review is powered by Samsung. And we've had this play reviewed by the umpires as it was bang bang at first, and we're going to look at it, and I think they might overturn this call on the field. Saunders ruled safe on the infield hit.
One more time. When is the ball in the glove? Right there. And he's not even on the bag, and he's called out. That was an easy one, I think, for this crew. Good play by Reed.
Very good play by Reed. He did a good job. That ball was spiked in the dirt, and he just kind of swiped at it and showed pretty good hands.
One more time. Watch him get down. That's what you want to do. Give yourself a throwing lane. Get down as close to the ground as you can. Bring your glove up. Finds the pocket for the first out.
Kevin Pillar up in the 5th spot in the batting order tonight. You know what I really like about McCullers is his windup. It's kind of an old-fashioned throwback windup. He pumps his arms over his head. He taps the rubber with his right foot. That's a classic pitching delivery.
Well, when you see that, watch his head. His head barely moves. I've been talking to pitchers lately about the importance of keeping your head very still while you're on the rubber going through your windup. And that keeps you on balance, and it keeps you over the rubber. Watch his head, it barely moves when he starts his big windup.
Bouncing ball to the second baseman, Altuve.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for this 22-year-old right-hander, and it's an interesting one. Look at the amount of curveballs he throws. 49% of the time he's going to use that curveball, and it's a yellow hammer. It's a hard breaker. He can use it as a get back into the count pitch or a wipeout pitch. Fastball, 94 miles an hour on average. He throws it 43% of the time. An occasional changeup, an occasional slider. But he's got a nice loose arm. We've talked about his delivery, how nice and free and easy that thing is. And right now he is on a nice roll for this Houston Astros team.
Devin Travis was the leadoff batter last night for the Blue Jays. He had 2 hits in that game. Devin, over his last 11 games, batting .364. 16 hits in those 11 games. Blue Jays have really struggled as a team, batting .199 over their last 10 games. When you think about this ball club, the Blue Jays are built on offense. There's no getting around it. They've got to hit to win, and right now they're just not swinging the bats.
Well, John Gibbons was talking about that before today's ball game, and he was saying, look, I know we are a power-packed team. We hit a lot of home runs, and when we don't do that, we have trouble scoring runs, so we have to figure out different ways to do it. There are the numbers that you were just talking about over the last 10 games, a 199 average. They're still scoring 4 runs a game, but they're striking out a lot. They're not hitting the home runs.
Double plays and strikeouts, a bad combination. They've grounded into 13 double plays in their last 10 games. Melvin Upton Jr. gets started right field.
He was also talking a little bit about this ballpark. He said, especially for the right-handers that we have here, it's a lot like hitting in Fenway Park. You look outside and you see that short left field, and you might try to pull the ball, might try and hit the ball out of the ballpark, try to get some cheap home runs. That's when you get into problems.
Pete Walker was on the telephone. We're assuming it was to the bullpen. It's kind of interesting and something we'll have to keep our eye on. R.A. Dickey slipped as he broke for first base on the last out of the bottom of the first. McCullers strikes out Upton with another curveball. 2 strikeouts in 2 innings of work so far. We'll go to the bottom of the second. R.A. Dickey appears to be just fine.
Return home for a lot of action at Rogers Center in the month of August, beginning with the Tampa Bay Rays coming to town August 8th through 10th, followed by the same Houston Astros, who pay a visit from the 12th through the 14th. Later in the month, you'll see the Angels and the Twins. Go to BlueJays.com for tickets. And Buck, we're seeing crowds of over 40,000 a game for the Blue Jays at home this year, so I would imagine tickets are very hard to come by right now.
You're right, Barry, especially this time of the year when there are pennant race games all throughout the final 2 months. It's going to be a terrific wrap-up to a very good season this year at Rogers Center. Says Carlos Gomez, who has hit well against R.A. Dickey in the past. Gomez 7 for 13 against Dickey.
I'll tell you what, he's not going to get cheated. He goes up there and he is swinging for those Crawford box seats.
Yeah, you mentioned how that short porch in left becomes kind of a concern for the hitters. And there's one of those mighty swings.
Told you, he doesn't get cheated. Watch him one more time. He's trying to lift this ball out of the ballpark. And he goes down to one knee.
Gomez began his career with the New York Mets, came to the big leagues for the first time in 2007. He went from New York to Minnesota, played some in Milwaukee, spent most of his career with the Brewers. We have seen hitters do this, and not just because of a mighty swing, but Devin Travis lost his footing a couple of times in the batter's box last night.
We saw Jose Altuve on his home run actually plant, swing, and then slip on the follow-through.
This is popped up. Tolley and Encarnacion Edwin calls for it, makes the catch. One down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Orioles taking on the Texas Rangers. The Rangers have Carlos Beltran and Jonathan Lucroy in the lineup in Baltimore tonight, two newly acquired players that they picked up yesterday.
I think they were the winners in the deadline sweepstakes, if you will.
I think so. I think getting a everyday DH and an everyday catcher really gives them the decisive moves during the postseason.
Don't forget about the power arm they picked up also.
Jeremy Jeffers came with Lucroy from Milwaukee, and he's really thrown the ball well.
Yeah.
Bouncing ball, Donaldson playing up the middle, throws out A.J. Reed. 2 down.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Minute Maid Park, it opened up in 2000. Blue Jays first came here in 2005 in interleague play. The Astros, after a very tough start to their season, have sorted things out. They've played well in this ballpark, 23-8 over the last 31 home games. Trying to close the gap between themselves and the Texas Rangers. Evan Gattis had a rough night in last night's game. Gattis 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts.
It was a strikeout fest last night, wasn't it? Blue Jays establishing a new franchise record for strikeouts in a game with 22.
They didn't need the air conditioner here last night. There was a lot of swings, a lot of breeze. 40 strikeouts in the game. There's a slower knuckleball, backhanded by Donaldson. In plenty of time, R.A. Dickey retires the side in order in the second. Looks a little bit like last night's game.
Sports without having cable. Visit sportsnet.ca/now to start your free trial. Guys, 2 things we can always count on in Houston. One is the heat, and the second is our pal out in left field with that mustache.
He has been a fixture here at this ballpark for quite a while. He's got that big handlebar mustache working. And it is hot. There's no question about that. It was pushing 100 degrees Fahrenheit down here today. The Blue Jay fans on hand as they travel around to watch the ball club. Josh Thole will lead things off here in the third. 8-9-1 for the Blue Jays. Line drive into center, and Gomez couldn't see it. That is very interesting, and we have seen it and heard the players talk about it a lot, how these lights here at this ballpark are a real problem.
This is the first year of the LED lights here in this ballpark. And if you've ever driven down the street with LED lights and headlights coming at you, there's a glare and there's a fog and there's a glow around them. And there's been a lot of problems, and there's been a lot of talk about the ball that gets up into the lights. You can't see it. There's glare. Tim Leeper, who is in charge of the outfielders here, was telling me today when the ball gets above the lights, it disappears. And that's exactly what happened right there to Carlos Gomez.
It disappears because it's dark above the lights, and it's such a glare that you can't see the ball through that glare.
Leap was telling me, he says, wait till it gets dark here, and then the lights kick on, and it gets even worse when the ball goes above the lights. And the lights are really interesting here. They're whole banks of lights.
Toley's on the move, and they go to second in time after first. What a double play. Alex Bregman, the rookie third baseman, came charging in and made the play in a quick decision to go to second. Then Altuve took it from there.
Blue Jays know runs are going to be hard to score, so they're going to play hit and run here. Hit it anywhere on the ground other than the third baseman who is playing in, and you've got that guy at second base. He's showing off a pretty good arm 2 nights here at third base. Quick arm, he catches, makes a quick decision, fires the ball to second base. There's one there as Altuve is on the bag. And then he shows off a strong arm, picked once again by A.J. Reed over at first base.
Two of the best defensive clubs in the American League matching up here in Houston, and they just flashed the leather on that beautiful double play. So back to the top of the order, Jose Bautista grounded back to the pitcher his first time up.
Houston has committed the fewest errors in the American League, just 46 errors this season.
And for the Blue Jays, that's the 14th double play they've grounded into in their last 11 games. Upstairs at 97. 3-1 to Bautista. McCullers walked Devin Travis with 2 outs in the second. Swinging and drive deep to left. Get up number 300 for Bautista. A line shot to the Crawford boxes. And that's a milestone home run for Jose Bautista, number 300 for his career.
Boy, did that thing ever get out of here quickly. He was sitting all over a fastball and hit a line drive out of here quickly. He becomes one of 10 active players now with 300 career home runs.
He breaks the tie with Adrian Gonzalez. They both came into action tonight with 299. Next on the list, Prince Fielder with 319. But a milestone home run, and it was a no-doubt shot into the seats in left.
That thing was climbing as it left this ballpark. Jose winds up, gets the pitch that he likes. That is home run number 14, and that's going to be extra bases for Josh Donaldson.
Donaldson hustling around the second. Pretty good throw from Rasmus. Colby Rasmus with his 12th outfield assist. Donaldson stays at second, wanting the Blue Jays to look at it on review. But Colby Rasmus, his 10th assist from left. He has one from center and one from right. And John Gibbons wants the umpires to take a look at the call at second.
Well, let's see what Josh Donaldson saw. He is saying that he pulled that leg back and then got it around the tag of Altuve. And right away he said to the dugout, hey, take a look at that one. I think I'm safe. So do the Blue Jays.
Interesting slide. Watch how Altuve puts the tag on his leg, but hard to see whether or not there was contact before Donaldson got to the base. Donaldson is on the base there. That's going to be a tough one to overturn from that angle. The Astros challenged a call in the top of the second and had the call on the field overturned.
The Astros are still hanging around on the field. You got to deal with the umpire. You're not real sure. Not a lot of.
You can't tell if he made contact with that right leg of Donaldson. Umpires have their call, and the call is upheld. There's no great view of that call, and Donaldson is out. Another great throw from Colby Erasmus.
Log on to your My Blue Jays page and enter the following code, MBJ2078. You do that, you'll earn points simply for watching tonight's broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. You have till 11:59 tonight to enter the code, but we will have another one for you tomorrow. To the bottom of the third we go. Here is Buck and Pat.
Thank you very much, Barry. A 1-0 Blue Jays lead. And after the double play off the bat of Darwin Barney, Jose Bautista hit a bullet into the Crawford boxes in left field. This is Jason Castro, the Astros catcher.
He's got that shin guard on in that right leg, but I think he missed it. That one might have got his foot.
Did you ever wear a shin guard?
Yes.
You did?
I did. Found a couple of balls right off my shin. I said, I have to wear it or I'm going to break something in there.
Yeah, I never hit the ball hard enough to worry about it.
Yeah, you got to play and you got to be able to hit the ball
hard.
Off the foot.
It's got to be hard. Yeah. No shin guard for me.
What's frustrating is when you wear them and you miss the shin guard and hit your foot or your knee. Been there, done that.
Yeah, I always used to laugh at you guys when you missed your shin guard. 0-2 to Jason Castro. Dickey strikes him out. First strikeout of the ball game for R.A. Dickey. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, it's always scary whenever anybody gets hit up around the neck or a head, but how about the poor luck of Francisco Cervelli? He's had all kinds of injuries this season.
His whole career.
Yeah, he's just one right after another.
Yeah.
Unfortunate situations.
And he's a good player, too. And the Pirates need him.
Pittsburgh, a game over 500. They've lost 3 in a row. They are 11 games back in the NL Central. The wild card race, they're still 3.5 from the wild card spots. Dickey off the mound. He'll go into the base path and put the tag on Springer. R.A. is a very good fielder. He's won a Gold Glove in his career. So he got a good read on that one and tags out Springer. So a strikeout and a ground out.
Looked like R.A. was rolling up like a football player. He's expecting to get hit. Up the line at first base. Anytime you can eliminate the throw to first base and tag a guy, you got to do it. That's exactly what R.A. did. Got in the baseline, made the play.
Oh, I can't imagine anybody running over anybody in this game today.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
Come on, Pat. Can't slide into second, can't run the catcher over, and you're certainly not going to run over a pitcher. 2 outs for R.A. Dickey. The Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead, trying to snap an 8-game losing streak in the hands of the Astros in this ballpark. Alex Bregman, the rookie third baseman, made a terrific play, starting a double play off the bat of Darwin Barney in the top half of this inning.
Second overall pick last June 2015. Third player from that draft to get to the big leagues. The fourth one's going to get there tonight for the Boston Red Sox. Andrew Benintendi's going to make his major league debut tonight.
Off the end of the bat. Darwin Barney has to throw on the run. Nice stretch at first by Encarnacion. The inning is over. All right, Dickey retires the side in order. 7 straight retired by the knuckleballer. Edwin Encarnacion will start things off when we come back. Michael Saunders, then Kevin Pillar. The Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead.
School, and why not do it with 5 great high-five deals from Rogers, including offers on phones, tablets, data, and more on select 2-year share everything plans. Hurry into Rogers today. Buck?
Hard to believe that we are in August and school will start up very soon. Summer is coming to an end, but we've got some great games at Rogers Center in the month of August into September. Blue Jays continue to fortify their bullpen. A couple more relievers have joined the ball club. Danny Barnes has been called up from AAA Buffalo, and Mike Bolsinger, who was just acquired from the Dodgers. They are both here in Houston. Had a chance to talk with Barnes, and this is his first opportunity to play in the big leagues, and he's pretty excited. 7 years in the minors for Danny Barnes. He came out of Princeton, but he started his season in AA, moved to AAA, and he's been throwing nothing but strikes.
What was he saying today? It's been a whirlwind. Not really sure where he is right now. He is very excited to be here, no doubt about that.
7 years in the minors and some career-threatening injuries along the way. He never really fathomed it was going to end up like this, but here he is in the big leagues. Swinging a drive. You can forget about this one, folks. Way back in on the rail tracks, high above the Crawford boxes. Number 29 for Encarnacion. What a shot.
Boy, he waited back on the breaking ball that time, saw it, and absolutely got all of it to left field.
29th of the season, 297 career home runs for Encarnacion.
Boy, that's how you hit a hanging breaking ball right there. You stay back, watch him lay back on that back foot, recognize that curveball, and Gibby was saying it in this ballpark to try and hook the ball to left field. That time he hooks it up onto the railroad tracks in left field, and it comes all the way back down on the field.
Encarnacion now with 29 home runs, trying to reach that 30 home run plateau for the 5th consecutive season. He is second all time for 30 home runs in a row, and you can see the patches on his eyes. We were talking about the lights, and that has been a thought that the Blue Jay hitters are going to wear those patches to cut down the glare of these new lights here in Houston.
That's exactly right. Eye black at night games to cut down the glare. It's very bright, tough to pick up the baseball. No problem that time for Edwin, huh? They might have to break out all those eye patches in the black eye.
Whatever it takes. Boy, he connected with that one. 2 home runs for the Blue Jays. Bautista and Encarnacion. Saunders called for the swing. 1 out. Let's check in again with Jamie Campbell. Interesting line for Darvish. He's struck out 9, but he's given up 3 home runs.
That's baseball nowadays, isn't it? Home runs and strikeouts.
Home runs and strikeouts. Nobody wants to shorten up, put the ball in play. All or nothing. Dylan Bundy has allowed just 1 hit over 7 innings and struck out 7. Baltimore picked up a starting pitcher, Wade Miley. And they have reinforced their team somewhat. They also got a familiar face back into Stephen Pierce, who had performed very well for the Orioles previously. He's back with Baltimore.
He could play left field. He could play some first base for him. Boy, Lance McCullers got a great curveball. When he puts it in a good spot, they think a lot of him. He became the youngest pitcher in club history to start a playoff game in 22 years in 10 days last season. And right now he is in a groove. July sizzle, strikeouts per 9 innings. This is in history where he stacks up. He's averaging 13 strikeouts per month in the month of July, behind some great strikeout artists.
Well, those other 3 guys are in the Hall of Fame. That's a good start for 22-year-old Lance McCullers. You pitch yourself into that company, that's a pretty impressive list.
41st overall pick in 2012.
He was drafted out of Jesuit High School in Tampa, Florida. He was a compensation pick for the Astros losing Cliff Barnes. And as Pat mentioned, he's the son of Lance McCullers Sr. Devin Travis drew a walk his first time up. Boy, he's hot. Stay hot, Devin. Another hanging breaking ball, and he rips it into left field. That's his 17th hit in his last 12 games.
That's the thing with that breaking ball. It's really good, but if you hang it, Major League hitters are going to hit it. When he keeps it down, he's good. That time he left it up, and Travis smoked it into left field.
Melvin Upton Jr. was a strikeout victim his only time up. Struck out to end the 2nd inning.
it's going to take Jason Castro, the catcher, out to say, hey, calm down just a little bit. You can see McCullers, again, just 22 years old, a little frustrated with himself. Overthrew that fastball. First pitch to Upton.
Upton fouls it up.
Mentioned that he was in that 2012 draft. What a draft that was for pitchers, especially at the top end. The first pick in the draft that year was Carlos Correa, your starting shortstop. Kevin Gausman was in that draft. Lucas Giolito, Michael Wacha, Marcus Stroman. Marcus was taken 22 overall. And then all the way down at 41, Lance McCullers Jr.
Ground ball. Altuve got a bad break as Travis heads for third. Melvin Upton Jr. gets a base hit. Altuve looked like he took a step to his right and the ball was hit to his glove side, back to his left.
Yeah, he got a bad read on that ball. He's playing right behind the pitcher. And when a right-hander swings, a lot of times you anticipate a ball being pulled, but that ball was hit to the right. Travis reads the ball into the outfield. He's going to go first to third easily. But you're right, Altuve, the Gold Glove winner, did not get a good read on that ball.
No, he took a step to his right, and that proved fatal. Josh Tolley got a base hit his first time up. It's interesting. We talk about Texas fortifying their situation with those trade deadline deals, and they're getting beat 4-0 tonight in Baltimore. Cleveland, they made some big trades. They improved themselves. They were getting beat 8-0 tonight at the hands of the Twins.
Again, they got smoked last night, didn't they?
Isn't it interesting how you can put all the new players in your uniform, they still have to perform. And don't look now, but the Tigers are 4 games back of the Indians. Ball and a strike to Tolley. Fouls it up. Detroit's really starting to make a move. They are leading 6-1 over the White Sox at home. And they're really starting to get some good pitching. Anibal Sanchez pitching well again tonight. Justin Verlander pitched great against Houston over the weekend. Zimmerman's back, and they're hoping that he catches for him.
Yep. Right. We're thinking Jordan Zimmerman on Thursday, and guess who's swinging a hot bat for Detroit?
The big guy?
Yeah, the guy who runs that team. Makes him go.
There you go. Cabrera's 2 for 3 tonight. The runner is going. Tolley strikes out. McCullers strikes out the side, but the big bats of the Blue Jays come through. Jose Bautista connects for his 14th of the season. It's 300 for his career. And then right behind him and out later, Edwin Encarnacion, number 297. 2-0 Blue Jays.
Enter the TD Comfort Zone contest by posting a video or photo of you tagging @BlueJays and including the hashtag TD Tuesday on Twitter or Instagram for a chance to win. For full contest rules and details, visit bluejays.com/Comfort Zone. Let's get you back now to Buck and Pat.
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. A 2-0 Blue Jays lead as we head to the bottom of the fourth. R.A. Dickey has allowed just 2 hits. Jose Altuve had a bunt single with 2 outs in the first inning, and Carlos Correa had a bouncing ball into right behind Altuve. Those are the only 2 base runners to reach.
I like how Josh Donaldson's starting back, and then as the pitch is on its way, it starts to creep in to take away that bunt from Altuve. That one got Josh Jolie square. Looked like it might have got him on the arm.
A ball and 2 strikes to Altuve. He foul tips it.
Let's take a look. Knuckleball. That got him in the ribs. Just missed that chest protector.
You got to reach up high trying to catch that ball, and you expose the rib cage area, and he had his body a little bit sideways, and it missed that chest protector.
Well, that's how he does it, right? Side saddle, trying to relax as much as possible. Catching that knuckleball.
Altuve strikes out, second strikeout for Dickey.
Pretty good hitter. Goes down right there. The knuckleball is staying on line. There's some late movement on it tonight. That was the problem that he was having over his last couple of starts, that the knuckleball was not really moving. It was staying on line right in the hitter's box, and they were hitting it hard. Tonight he's got some late movement.
The strikeout of Altuve, just the 46th time Altuve has struck out this season. When you get so many hits, there aren't opportunities for strikeouts. Carlos Correa waves at that slow knuckleball. He bounced that single over Encarnacion's head into right field his first time out.
I love when he starts changing speeds with that knuckleball. We were talking about it last night, that hitting is all about timing, and if you can mess up the timing with it, throw one at 80, one at 65. Great variance in speed.
He's got good movement on the knuckleball tonight, and that's been something he's been looking for over his last several starts. Hasn't really had that consistent movement that we were seeing tonight. Up the middle, base hit. Correa 2 for 2, a couple of ground ball base hits.
Both of them finding a hole. The first one over the head of Encarnacion at first base. This time over the head of R.A. Dickey and right back through the middle. The Blue Jays are not shifting on Correa because he can hit the ball all over the place. And Dickey sees that ball head out into center field. Third hit of the night for the Astros.
Colby Rasmus grounded out to end the Astros threat in the first inning. It's this ball high and deep to center. Pilar back at the warning track. Correa goes back to tag, and Pilar did a good job of getting that ball in quickly. As Colby Rasmus put a charge at it, but he hit it to center field, and Pilar had room to make the catch.
Told you there is a lot of room here in center field, so you better have a center fielder who can go get it. And the Blue Jays have that in Kevin Flower. He read that thing perfectly, and he got himself into a throwing position when he caught the ball, knowing that Gray was going to try and tag up and move to second base. That is a long way out there. Normally, that ball's out of the ballpark in any other ballpark but this one.
Carlos Gomez popped out in foul ground his first time up. He is hacking, isn't he?
Yeah.
He fell down in his first at bat on a couple of swings. He was swinging so hard.
Throw the good one right here. Throw the hard knuckleball. Get some movement on it and get a strikeout.
I would sail up out of the zone. 1-2. Goalie knocked it down to keep Correa in first. 2-0 Blue Jays. Couple of solo home runs. One off the bat of Jose Bautista, his 14th of the season, and Edwin Encarnacion, number 29. The two big boys doing some work. Donaldson at third will go across the diamond in plenty of time. He takes a hit away from Gomez. We played 4 complete, 2-0 Blue Jays. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Samsung Broadcast Studio.
Military families here at Minute Maid Park, but this one had quite the twist to it. Check this out as this family is surprised by their son, and look at the look on mom's eyes as she sees her son just returning from the military to come back home and see the family. Guys, you see a lot of great things during baseball games. This was one of those moments away from the game that really makes you feel good inside to see.
That was a terrific reaction we saw from the mom as she saw her son come out of the stands. They were acknowledging the father, and then here comes the son. Obviously been abroad on assignment. He surprised his mom showing up here tonight. That was pretty cool. Number 9 hitter Darwin Barney playing at shortstop. Barney filling in for Troy Tulowitzki once again. Ryan Goins has been sent back to AAA Buffalo. He and Bo Schultz were sent back after the game last night, and they added 2 more pitchers. Danny Barnes in his first game in the big leagues here tonight, and Mike Bolsinger acquired from the Dodgers.
Reinforcements from the minor leagues. The game changes daily, doesn't it? You just never know.
Well, and it's all predicated by the fact that the Blue Jays have played a lot of extra inning games lately. 14 innings last night, 12 innings on Sunday, and it's just one of those things where you have to reinforce your bullpen. Another strikeout for McCullers, and that'll bring Jose Bautista to the plate.
Jose got himself in a good position to get a fastball, and when Lance McCullers misses his spot, the timing was there for Bautista as he turns on that one. That's a milestone home run right there for Jose.
300th career home run comes here in Houston, and it was a line shot into the seats. 14th of the season. Second home run since he has come off the disabled list. And you know, everybody says, well, what's wrong with Bautista? Well, anybody that misses as much time in the middle of the season like Bautista, you're going to struggle. It's hard to come back mid-season and pick up where you left off. And he was scuffling a bit before he injured his toe in Philadelphia. That was on the 16th of June. He missed about 6 weeks of action, and all the while the pitchers are just getting better and better. Boy, that was a good swing on a high breaking ball.
He wasn't really swinging it that well down in the minor leagues on his rehab, and it was a short rehab too for Bautista. But they needed him up here, and they got him up here, and maybe that timing is starting to come around. He's had 2 very good at-bats against Lance McCullers.
Well, he hit the fastball into the seats for a home run, and he stayed back on that breaking ball and ripped it into center. A 2-hit game for Jose. Josh Donaldson is 1 for 2. He hit one to the base of the wall in left field and was out trying to stretch a single into a double. Donaldson ripped a hard liner down the left field line, went up against the scoreboard. Colby Erasmus made a terrific throw to gun Donaldson down at second. He was trying to advance with 2 outs.
I didn't think he had any shot at getting him, but Colby shows off a good arm and accurate too. He's got 12 outfield assists now to lead their team.
That outfield assist for Rasmus. Now Houston has 33 outfield assists. Only the Chicago White Sox have more in the big leagues. They have 34.
Colby's got 12. Springer's got 10. Gomez has 7. Those are the 3 starters tonight.
Blue Jays 2 runs on 7 hits. McCullers has 6 strikeouts. John Gibbons has been wondering just when the offense is going to hit full stride once again. It's been a bit of a drought lately. Bouncing ball to the right side. Altuve goes to first. Donaldson is out. Bautista moves to second. 2 down. Edwin Encarnacion. His last time up, he did something dramatic.
Well, he's getting closer and closer to 300 home runs himself. As there's time on the field now, they're calling out.
McCullers may have hurt himself.
A.J. Hinch and the trainer making the way out there.
Carlos Correa, the young shortstop, waved for the manager and the training staff to come out, and now the trainer is out to check on the youngster. A.J. Hinch, the manager, getting the news. Take a look at the last pitch, see if you can see anything here.
Break off the mound. No, he doesn't even break off the mound on that ball to the right side.
It's elbow. Look at his feeling that elbow. So he is out of the game with some sort of injury. Not sure. No reason to speculate on what it is, but he has thrown his last pitch here tonight. He will leave with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. There's 4 2/3, and he leaves trailing 2-0, and the Astros bullpen will have plenty of time to get loose. Joe Musgrove, a former Blue Jay farmhand, will make his first big league appearance. He's going to come into this ball game. He'll have plenty of time to loosen up. So we'll break away. The Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead here in Houston. Welcome back to Houston. Edwin Encarnacion at the plate. 2 outs. Bautista at second, and Joe Musgrove making his first appearance in the big leagues. Major league debut for Musgrove. He's 23 years old, a former first-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays. He was traded in the J. Happ trade back in 2012. The Blue Jays sent a whole squadron of players down to Houston to acquire J. Happ, Brandon Lyon, and David Carpenter. Francisco Cordero, Ben Francisco, Carlos Perez, David Rollins, Asher Wojciechowski, and Joe Musgrove, plus a player to be named later.
Who ended up being Kevin Comer. You talk about a whole pitching staff worth of young players. Blue Jays in return got J. Happ and a couple of other players who have since moved on. There's Jay. Musgrove rated their number 7 prospect in their organization. He thought he was going to make his major league debut yesterday. He flew to Houston Sunday afternoon thinking that his major league debut would be yesterday, thinking that Doug Fister would not be able to make the start yesterday. He was scratched from a start in AAA Fresno on Saturday. Fister pitched yesterday. Musgrove takes over in the bullpen with Luke Gregerson going on the disabled list.
Popped into the seats behind the Astros dugout. Musgrove last pitch in the Blue Jays organization in 2012. That was in Bluefield in the Appalachian League. Dennis Holmberg, the manager in Bluefield. Dalton Pompey was on that team, as was Daniel Norris and Roberto Osuna. Full count, 2 outs. Blue Jays lead it 2-0. Musgrove has a strikeout. He's got a big name hitter in the books. His first appearance, he strikes out Edwin Encarnacion. 2-0 Jays.
Recap of the night in sports. It's Sportsnet Central weeknights right here on Sportsnet, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. It'll be a little bit later tonight, and barring another extra inning game, guys, Ken and Ivanka should be on a regular schedule.
Well, so far so good. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead, and Blue Jays were 1-0 down. The starter, Lance McCullers, this is his pregame warm-up routine, and watch how violently he uses this rubber band. I was noticing it when I watched him live do it, and he really puts a lot of effort into that to get that shoulder loosened up. He had a shoulder problem last year at the end of the season. This is A.J. Reed, who lines out to Pilar. And then as he completed his warm-ups to go down in the bullpen and throw, this is his long toss session, but watch how he reacts and shakes out that right arm. And he's concerned about the right arm even before he began to throw his warm-ups down in the bullpen. And then unfortunately he had to leave the game after getting Donaldson to ground out in the 5th.
Started this season late because of the shoulder problems. So we hope everything is okay. Just something else that A.J. Hinch, the manager of the Astros, has to think about.
22-year-old Lance McCullers out of the game after an apparent injury. Evan Gattis grounded out to third base, his only time up. Puts this one in the air, but it's going to be in the seats.
I was talking to Steve Sparks, who does the radio for the Houston Astros. He was a knuckleball pitcher, and I was telling him that RA's ball wasn't really moving a whole lot. And he says, well, a lot of times that's from decelerating instead of accelerating through the pitch. Tonight it looks like he's accelerating through the pitch, and he's getting a lot of good movement on that knuckleball.
He strikes out Gattis for the 3rd strikeout of the game for Dickey.
What you don't want to do, according to Steve, is to guide the ball in there and slow down your arm speed as you're making the pitch. Sparky was a knuckleball pitcher and a very successful one. He was saying he was going to watch that, and he says a lot of times when knuckleball pitchers, the ball's not moving, they're trying to guide it in there. You have to speed it up, and that's when you get the movement.
Steve Sparks pitched 9 years in the big leagues. He pitched in 270 major league games and made 182 starts, so he knows what he's talking about.
He would come out here and throw batting practice to the Houston Astros in years past when they were going to face a knuckleball pitcher. Didn't see him today.
Donaldson, the only guy that's got a chance, and he makes a nice running basket catch to retire Jason Castro. R.A. Dickey, 5 solid innings tonight. Donaldson, the only man on the left side of the infield, turns his back and runs into the out and said, I got it, to Saunders, and he does.
Presented by Bacardi. It goes on August the 12th when the Blue Jays take on these same Houston Astros. Join us before the game for a DJ showdown featuring Jed Harper, DJ Deluxe, and your boy Brian. The patio opens at 4:30, and it's the Blue Jays and Astros at 7:05. You can go to bluejays.com for tickets. Buck and Pat, back to you.
Thank you very much, Barry. We head to the 6th inning. The Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead, trying to snap an 8-game losing streak here in Houston. Joe Musgrove came into the ballgame after the injury to Lance McCullers, the starter. Musgrove struck out Edwin Encarnacion, the first batter he has faced in the big leagues. So he's got a strikeout in the books. Musgrove ahead of Michael Saunders, 0-2.
He's got a nice pitcher's body, doesn't he? 6'5", long arms. Watching him warm up, throws a lot of changeups. See the changeup grip right there that he's going to use, so he doesn't have to move. A lot of times pitchers will dig in there and give away that they're throwing the changeup. He starts with the changeup grip, and then switches to the fastball or the slider.
I believe that when he was drafted by the Blue Jays, he came to Rogers Center. For some reason, I remember him throwing down in the bullpen. I think he came and he threw a bullpen session before he went to the minor leagues. He strikes out Saunders. 2 strikeouts for Musgrove.
The checkered flag event is back, celebrating over 50 years of racing heritage in every Honda. Now is a great time to get into the all-new Civic.
We are in Houston, Texas, second game of a 4-game series between the Blue Jays and the Astros. Now it has gotten dark outside, and you can see from our perspective how the lights have really intensified, and it's become very bright. And this is the challenge the players have now at this time of the night. When the ball gets above the lights in the air, it disappears.
Yeah. Number one, the glare off the glass in left field. Very much. That's a breaking ball to Pilar. And Kevin just ducks out of the way, almost walked right into that one. But that's what you're looking at. See the glow around those lights, and the ball gets above them and the ball disappears. And according to some of the players, it's not just when you're in the field. Hitting, tough to pick up the ball.
Edwin Encarnacion has homered tonight. He's wearing eye black, as is Kevin Pilar, something you don't see routinely in night games. Devin Travis has the eye black. Players will talk about the situation. They all seem to agree that that will help them cut down the glare. Pilar lines out to the shortstop. Stayed on that breaking ball.
Oh, looked like it might have been a knuckleball out to shortstop. Watch how Correa catches the ball and is diving towards the dirt. Correa's got that long reach. Listed at about 6'4".
Devin Travis has reached base twice. He has walked and singled. Travis's batting average up to .289. Devin didn't have spring training, of course, coming back from shoulder surgery in November. And his rehab was really cut short. He was pressed into duty when Troy Tulowitzki went on the disabled list initially with that quad injury. Travis lines this one to right. Right there is George Springer. Devin Travis is swinging a hot bat. This time he lines out to right.
Tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Now. Can Giancarlo Stanton and the Marlins light up Aroldis Chapman and the Cubbies? Watch and find out right here on Sportsnet. And guys, how about the Miami Marlins this year? We may see postseason baseball back in Miami.
They are playing well tonight. They're getting beat in Chicago by the Cubs 3-0. Jose Fernandez and Jason Fernandez has given up 3 runs on 8 hits through 5 innings, but you're right, they're playing pretty good. Mike Stanton has bounced back pretty well after a very slow start. He has 2 hits tonight.
D. Gordon's back for Miami.
Gordon's back. Ground ball. Springer hits it to the shortstop. Leadoff man is retired. He's 0 for 3.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY expert sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
We had mentioned that R.A. Dickey needed to keep the ball on the ground. Tonight he's got 8 ground ball outs. And I don't care where you're pitching, anytime you keep it on the ground, you got a chance to have a good outing. He's done a nice job tonight. 2 hits allowed by Dickey. 2 came in the first inning. Correa has a second hit. He is 2 for 2. Altuve had the bunt single with 2 outs in the first.
2 best hitters are Altuve and Correa. You always got to know where they are in the lineup and where you're heading to, and that's why you have to get this guy out right here. Hitting 0-33. I'd rather face Altuve, 2 outs, nobody on.
Yeah, you got to come after this guy, and Dickey can throw him fastballs if he needs to. It's 2-1 now. Wow. Altuve's on deck. It's a 2-0 Blue Jays lead.
Fastball. He's listening to you, partner.
Yeah, it's you got to know who you're dealing with here. Bregman is 1 for 30.
You can throw him that knuckleball now.
And he did. Another strikeout for Dickey. That's 4 in the ball game, and this is exactly how you want to face Altuve. But before he bats, let's check in with Jamie Campbell. The Mets getting another good start from Jacob deGrom. 7 innings of 4 hit shutout ball. He's out of the game. John Neese is into the ball game. deGrom with 8 strikeouts.
They've had some tough injuries, the New York Mets. No Matt Harvey for the rest of the season. No David Wright. Syndergaard was banged up just a little bit.
Just lost their shortstop.
Yeah.
That's Hugo Cabrera.
So they needed to go out and get some reinforcements.
Boston's in Seattle. David Price up against Wade LeBlanc. That will start at 10:10 Eastern time. The ball is lined into center, and Pilar is going to play it on a hop. Altuve, his second hit of the night. He is a hitting machine.
Yes, he is. He can hit pitches all over the strike zone and all kind of different types of pitches. That time it was a knuckleball that was up. Watch him just easily get the barrel of the bat to the baseball. Now he's a threat to steal.
Isn't this the beauty of baseball? What's Altuve listed at 5'6"? You got players that are 6'7", players that are 5'6", and everybody can succeed. Carlos Correa 6'4". He's Altuve's double play partner at short. He's 2 for 2. Both of his hits have been ground ball base hits. That is Danny Barnes, who was just called up from AAA Buffalo by the Blue Jays. He has been told he's liable to pitch in this game tonight. Back to Dickey. He'll go to first, and that ends the inning. R.A. Dickey gives up a 2-out single. He's only allowed 4 singles tonight as we head to the 7th.
One rated travel rewards card in Canada, the WestJet RBC World Elite MasterCard. Visit rbc.com/WestJet to apply today. Guys, you were talking recently about Danny Barnes, who went to Princeton. Told me today that he did his thesis on MLB free agency. He spent a lot of time on the buses and stuff writing it. And he said it was about the fact, and he concluded that free agents who stay with their teams instead of going elsewhere end up having more successful careers than guys that move on to different places. He ended up getting an A- on it, so maybe he's onto something there.
Well, Barry, I think he should pass it along to Bautista and Encarnacion.
And all the other guys who are set to become free agents, right?
Yep. Let's see, as Melvin Upton Jr., he's 1 for 2 so far in this game. Playing in right field tonight. Breaking ball, then strikes out for a second time.
The all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
We are in Houston, Texas, and the Blue Jays batting in the top half of the 7th have a 2-0 lead. Joe Musgrove, a former Blue Jay #1 pick, has come into the ball game and has retired all 5 batters he's faced with 3 strikeouts.
46th overall. You see why the Blue Jays drafted him so high. He's got a nice fastball, a little late breaker, slider, and a changeup. He had risen to the 3rd best prospect in the Astros organization. He was named the Astros 2015 Minor League Pitcher of the Year. That's nice.
Musgrove this season was at AAA Fresno. He spent his last 10 games at Fresno. He started out in Corpus Christi in AA. He overmatched AA, so they moved him up to the Coast League. Tully strikes out. Castro throws to Reed at first for the strikeout to complete that. 4 strikeouts for Musgrove. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. 2 down for the number 9 hitter, Darwin Barney. The Astros have just passed along some information about Lance McCullers, the starting pitcher who left the ball game. Officially, the Astros say it is right elbow discomfort. He'll be reevaluated tomorrow. So that's concerning for the Astros for sure. Young pitcher with elbow problems.
Got to be cautious too. He had the shoulder problems last year, and now the elbow problems this year. This start. It's George Poulos working on Melvin Upton's left elbow. We picked up on that early with McCullers. You could see he was in a little discomfort, trying to shake out that pain in his elbow. It started in warm-ups.
Just evidently felt like it was tight, and he was trying to get it loose down in the warning track before he went into the bullpen to begin his warm-up process. Barney caught looking at strike 3. Joe Musgrove against his former team has been impressive. 5 strikeouts for the big right-hander.
Extra Innings on August 18th, an exclusive event at Rogers Center hosted by Sportsnet's Hazel May, featuring sports-focused panel discussions in support of Jays Care. Visit BlueJays.com/extra innings to get your tickets today. Guys, last year it was here at Minute Maid Park where R.A. Dickey really hit the low point of his season. So far through 6, it looks like Minute Maid Park could be the place where he's turned things around.
Well, he's never won a game in this ballpark, and hopefully tonight that's going to change. He's been very good tonight. Terrific, allowing just 4 hits. 2 players have all 4 hits. It's Altuve and Carlos Correa. They have 4 singles against Dickey. That's all the Astros have been able to muster.
That's why you got to always pay attention to where they are in that lineup. Now, they've got other guys in this lineup that can knock the ball out of the ballpark.
Kobe Erasmus tied up on that knuckleball. He's 0 for 2.
We have seen Colby Rasmus in the past. It looks like he's in one of those streaks where he swings through a lot of pitches.
Broken back, and Barney's going to make the catch as Rasmus gets sawed off. Not much left of that piece of lumber. These bats are so light now, and they are put into the kiln and dried to get the right weight, and they become very brittle.
A lot of thin handles too. Players like to get that buggy whip action, so they have thin handles. See a lot of broken bats.
Center fielder Carlos Gomez. So for 2. Gomez has been hacking at Dickey all night long. He's had success against RA in the past. 7 for 15 now. And he hits this one, a fair ball down the left field line. He's around first, headed for second. And just like that, the Astros will have the tying run at the plate. And A.J. Reed, he's got some power. Big first baseman, bats with a man at second and 1 out.
First extra base hit of the night for the Astros. It's an 0-2 pitch to Gomez. He's been swinging violently tonight. R.A. missed his spots. He wanted to get that ball away from him and stayed on the inner half. Gomez has a double.
A.J. Reed just recalled before the game tonight in his second stint with the ball club, batting 149 for the season. Reed was optioned back to AAA Fresno on the 21st of July. He was called up on June 25th.
He's got some power too. Told you he was the ESPN.com prospect of the year last year. Spent the year at a couple of different levels for the Astros and hit 34 home runs.
He went around on that knuckler. 0-2. Reed hit his first major league home run as a pinch hitter on the 2nd of July off David Robertson.
It's 0-2 again here. I think if you get anything close, you can strike him out.
Maybe one of those slow knuckleballs that he just floats in there.
Yeah, and keep it. You can throw it out of the strike zone. I think he'll swing at it.
He threw a hard one and missed. Well, this is the real challenge for John Gibbons with Dickey on the mound. R.A.'s been great tonight. No runs on 5 hits, 4 singles and a double. But now a powerful bat at the plate, and Dickey has been giving up the home runs. This time he strikes out Reed.
There's the slow one. After the hard one at 80 miles an hour, that was up and away. Took a little something off of that one. Really messed up the timing of the young hitter A.J. Reed. Watch how far out in front he is, out on that front foot. And he loses his balance and comes up with a big strikeout. That's how you mess with the timing of hitters, changing speeds with that knuckleball.
R.A. Dickey trying to close out the bottom of the 7th. Pick off to second. They got a shot at him, but Gomez dives back in. Dickey does the inside spin move when he makes that throw to second. He does it very well. Evan Gattis is the batter. You can see there's that inside move, and it takes a heck of an athlete to make that throw. You don't have much body underneath you to make that throw.
Yeah, high strike right there. You step off just a little bit. You just have to flick the ball with your wrist. Gomez has got a big lead out there at second base, so I think he's just trying to keep him close.
Gattis is 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts in the series. Ball pops out of the glove, not far enough for Gomez to advance. Ball and a strike. Boy, this is a welcome effort from R.A. Dickey, pitching into the 7th after the Blue Jays played 14 innings last night. Gaddis with a mighty cut.
Again, John Gibbons was saying before the game he might have to push R.A. just a little bit further tonight to give that bullpen a little bit of a rest. He's watching the movement of that knuckleball. If he still has his velocity, the swings that he is getting from the Astros, that'll all tell him if he can push him.
That's going to drop for a base hit. Gomez is going to come in to score. Evan Gaddis with a 2-strike base hit to right center has put the Astros on the board. It's a 1-run game.
Gaddis made a little bit of a change in his approach. He doesn't move at all. Just used his arms that time. You didn't see that hard, wild swing. That's just with his hands. And just dumps the ball into the outfield for an RBI single, cutting the lead in half.
Danny Barnes loosening up. They told him before the game there was a chance he was going to pitch in this game, and Castro goes after the first pitch and rips it foul. The Blue Jays bullpen has pitched a lot lately. Danny Barnes last pitched on Sunday, and he said he was really in good shape and ready to pitch tonight.
Boy, that slow one is messing up the timing. The Astros like to get out there and yank the ball. And they like to hit home runs. They like to hit extra base hits. Perfect time to use that slow knuckleball.
A ball and 2 strikes. A run in here in the bottom of the 7th. Upstairs. The Blue Jays bullpen. Roberto Osuna has pitched a lot lately. Brett Cecil has pitched 3 days in a row. He's not available. Foul. Jason Grilli has pitched in just 2 of the last 6 games, so he's in pretty good shape. Joe Biagini, he worked 2 innings last night. Roberto Osuna has pitched in 9 of the 15 games since the All-Star break. He's thrown in 3 of the last 4 and 2 in a row.
Yeah, assuming he is down, it looks like Jason Grilli might be the closer tonight. So, assuming R.A. gets this hitter right here, the 8th inning is going to be key for the Blue Jays.
Joaquin Benoit has pitched in 4 of 5 games since he's been here, so he's
you got to figure he's down
shut
too.
down 4 to 9. 2-2, 2 outs to Jason Castro. He gets a piece of it. The Astros bullpen is busy. That's Pat Neshek, who threw 2/3 of an inning in the game last night. They got Pilar and Barney to end the 7th. Foul tip.
Boy, that slow knuckleball once again, right after the 80-mile-an-hour knuckleball, has been very effective. Just barely getting a piece of this slow knuckleball. Ricochets off the home plate umpire, Tony Randazzo.
Dickey has now thrown 106 pitches. Season high 111 pitches. He's thrown 111 twice this season. Last time out, he threw 102 pitches in 5 2/3. He's getting near the end of the line. There goes the runner. It's a high fly ball to right. Upton has plenty of room in right, and the inning is over. R.A. Dickey, a terrific effort. 7 innings of 6-hit ball. He walks off the mound. 7 strong innings, leading 2-1. The Blue Jays could use a little insurance. Bautista is home tonight. Donaldson has a single, and Edwin Encarnacion, he too has hit a home run. 2-1 Blue Jays. North American Car of the Year.
Third inning, Jose Bautista at the plate, and he turns on this fastball. It's going to be a home run, a milestone home run for Jose Bautista, his 300th career home run. He becomes the 10th active player with 300 home runs. Next on the list, Prince Fielder at 319, then Ryan Howard at 371. Congratulations to Jose Bautista with our drive of the game.
Bautista is 2 for 3. He also lined a single into center field in the 5th. He was the second to the last batter that Lance McCullers faced. McCullers got Donaldson to ground out and then left the ball game. That's a fair ball. What a bounce as it bounces right to Bregman. Bautista's got no luck at all. That ball hit the bag and kicked up right to the third baseman, Alex Bregman, who reacted very calmly and made a nice play.
Very good defensive third baseman. Look at this. This looks like extra bases. He catches it, plants his foot, and shows off a strong arm all the way across the diamond on the fly. Joe Musgrove likes what he sees from his third baseman. He might not be hitting, but he's made some nice plays in these 2 games against the Astros.
He started a terrific double play in the 3rd inning on a hit and run situation. Calvin Varney, the ground ball, he made a quick throw to second, and they turned 2. Josh Donaldson wasn't sure about that last call. It's a ball and a strike. Joe Musgrove has been impressive. This is his first big league game.
Looks like we're going to get a pitcher who's going to get in his first big league game next inning for the Blue Jays.
Danny Barnes is loosening up for the Blue Jays in their bullpen. R.A. Dickey, 7 strong innings, 1 run on 6 hits, and John Gibbons, the manager, comes down and congratulates him for a much needed long start. 7 innings from Dickey. First time Dickey's gone 7 innings in 4 starts. His last 7-inning effort was the final day of the first half of the season, the Sunday before the All-Star break. That's 7 innings against the Tigers in a win. R.A. Dickey has never won a game here at Minute Maid Park. He's 0-3. This was his 6th start of his career in this ballpark. And tonight it was a very good effort from Dickey. Full count to Josh Donaldson with 1 out. Edwin Encarnacion is on deck. Donaldson strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Joe Musgrove in his major league debut.
Tried a couple of fastballs, tried a couple of breaking balls, then goes 3-2 and strikes him out. That's 12 more strikeouts for the Astro pitchers tonight. Going to throw the breaking ball to Josh Donaldson, 3-2, and pick up the strikeout.
Edwin Encarnacion, 1 for 3. His home run in the 4th inning, a leadoff home run, his 297th career home run. Gives him 29 home runs for the season. Edwin trying to reach the 30 home run plateau for a 5th consecutive season. Carlos Delgado has the franchise record for consecutive seasons with 30 or more home runs. He did it 8 times. Encarnacion has had 4 consecutive seasons of 30 or more. Joe Carter had 3. Fred McGriff, he too had 3 seasons of 30 or more home runs in a row. Breaking ball, strike 3. How about this major league debut for Joe Musgrove? He's racked up 7 strikeouts in 3 1/3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead for R.A. Dickey. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Samsung broadcast studio.
Celebrate Canada's team, along with hashtag Celebrate Blue Jays contest and at Blue Jays for a chance to watch the Jays in Seattle. Visit bluejays.com/fan-trip for details. Time for a Blue Jay debut on the mound, guys.
But it sure is, as Danny Barnes makes his Major League debut. Joe Musgrove of the Astros making his Major League debut, and he's had quite an effort. 3 1/3 innings of hitless relief. Now Danny Barnes trying to protect this one-run lead.
What a journey it's been for Barnes, an original 35th round draft pick for the Blue Jays back in 2010. Started the year in Double-A, dominated there, went to Triple-A, pitched very well for the Bisons. 1 earned run over 17 2/3 innings.
One thing that we have seen from watching Barnes and looking at his record, he throws strikes. 1 walk, 21 strikeouts in 12 games in Triple-A. He had 4 walks and 40 strikeouts in Double-A. Quickly ahead of Springer, 1 and 2. We had a nice visit with Danny Barnes before the game. He went to Princeton, was drafted in the 35th round. He's from Long Island, New York. And there was a time where he didn't think he would pitch in the big leagues. This is a pop-up left side of the infield there when Barney, the shortstop, makes the play. Barnes had shoulder problems and nobody could give him an answer as to what the source of the problem was. He finally went down to see Dr. James Andrews in Alabama, and Dr. Andrews said, your MRI is clean, but sometimes we have to go in there and look around, do exploratory surgery. And he found out that he had a rotator cuff tear. They cleaned it up. They didn't really repair it. They allowed it to heal naturally, and he came back.
That was in 2013, missed 2000 season. And then slowly but surely, he was saying that the velocity started coming back. They found that tear. It healed on its own. And then it was last year, he said, I finally started feeling like I was getting the velocity back on my fastball. Fastball, slider, changeup combination. The changeup's been a good pitch for him, he said. Really got some good fade to it. That was it.
Changeup right there. We talk about the other rookie that made his debut here tonight, Joe Musgrove. And what an effort he has given the Astros. 7 strikeouts in a relief debut, ties the club record set by Don Wilson back in '66. So we've seen a couple of rookies the last 2 nights pitch very well out of the Astros bullpen. Danny Barnes has 2 quick outs here in his Major League debut.
I don't know if he was able to get the ball, but here it is. First big league strikeout. He gets Alex Bregman. Throw that ball out. Put it in your trophy case.
Jose Altuve, he's 2 for 3 and a dangerous hitter. Barnes comes right after him. Altuve had a bunt single in the first, a line single in the 6th. He's also struck out tonight. Barnes was very interesting when he was explaining what type of pitcher he was. He said, I pitch up and down with my fastball and changeup, not side to side.
Not side to side, up and down and backwards and forward, not side to side. Fastballs up and in, like right there, and then changeups that fade that go down. But you're right, the important thing is he throws quality pitches and throws strikes.
Barnes is 26 years old. Barnes wasn't sure about that pitch, and he was going to rock into his delivery, and Josh Tolley said, wait a minute.
It's the first time that Josh Tolley has caught him also, and Josh was saying, slider, give me it away, and he was very emphatic with it, and he shook him off. He might be wanting to go to the changeup. We'll see. This is the line for R.A. Dickey. This is exactly what John Gibbons needed right here. 7 innings, 6 runs, just the 1 earned run, no walks and 5 strikeouts. The pitcher of record. R.A. Dickey trying to break that personal 3-game losing streak.
1-2. Ripped into left field. That high fastball. Altuve jumped all over it. He's a very good high ball hitter, and he jumped on that high heater. 3 hits for Altuve.
What's new with that guy? Another 2-strike hit for Altuve, a pitch that's up. And we were talking about it last night that there's another second baseman in the American League. Dustin Pedroia can handle that high fastball. Climbs all over that one, singles into left field.
That's his 16th 3-hit game of the season. Carlos Correa, he's 2 for 3. Altuve and Correa have 5 of the 7 Astro hits. First pitch changeup. Vines was telling us his junior year at Princeton was awful by his own description. He said, I was terrible. He said, I played against a bunch of my friends that were all Ivy Leaguers. I was getting killed.
From high school. Guys that he faced in high school, and they were raking him. He ended up being a 35th round draft pick for the Blue Jays. No matter where you get drafted, just work your way up the line. He's had some decent seasons in the minor leagues for the Blue Jays.
For his career, he's got a .245 earned run average. 7 minor league seasons. Well, he made a good pitch there.
Yeah.
Hit a good spot.
Tough to get hurt down and away like that.
These are the guys that I always root for. They're not 6'5", they don't throw 100, but they get outs. They don't scout well. Change up and a strikeout. What a beautiful inning for Danny Barnes. His first in the big leagues. He strikes out Alex Bregman and then gets Carlos Correa with a man aboard. Watch the movement on this changeup. He swings right over the top of it, and we'll go to the 9th. Barnes, with an inning under his belt, protects a 1-run lead.
At bat to feature the Blue Jays and stay up to the moment at any moment with scores, news, live game video highlights, and much more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. And there is a happy young man right there, guys.
Well, you bet he is, and there's a happy manager and a happy pitching coach in that dugout as well. Stanley Barnes struck out a pair to strand a tying run on base in his first big league inning. I'd like to get inside that head right now.
Probably
what
moving
he's thinking about.
1,000 miles an hour right now. Trying to look calm, but you know he's excited.
Deep breath as he's reflecting on his path to the big leagues. You can bet on that.
How about Joe Musgrove's major league debut? Back out there for another inning. Chance to, excuse me, Buck, to set the record.
Yeah, we mentioned he tied a franchise record for the Astros by striking out 7 batters in a relief appearance as a rookie. In a major league debut, look at that line.
Came in with 2 outs in the 5th inning, and he has retired everybody.
Don Wilson also struck out 7 in his major league debut, pitching in relief.
And if the fans out there don't know who Don Wilson was, wow, what a fireballer.
And unfortunately, he died very young, died at 29 years old. Don Wilson pitched 9 years for the Astros and won 104 games.
I saw him throw a no-hitter against my Cincinnati Reds.
Michael Saunders trying to get something started. 0-for-3. He had a base hit taken off the board as a call at first base was overturned in his first hit back. Well, that's the first base runner that Musgrove has allowed a leadoff walk here in the ninth. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. David Price starting for Boston, coming off a terrific outing his last time up. David Ortiz, another double for Ortiz as the Red Sox have jumped out in front. First pitch off the plate. Altuve, the second baseman, in quickly to help Musgrove regroup, and he hasn't done much to disappoint anybody. He has a leadoff walk. That's the first batter to reach against Musgrove.
Now the Blue Jays have to figure out a way to bring that runner around. They could play hit and run. Thought they might try to sacrifice him to second base. They got a hot hitter on deck in Devin Travis. This is a team, the Houston Astros, that just don't beat themselves. You got to try and manufacture a run here.
Pilar pops it out of play into the seats. Devin Travis on deck, as Pat mentioned, swinging a hot bat. He is 1 for 2 tonight with a walk. He lined out to right field his last time up. He's had good swings throughout this series. He was 2 for 5 in the game last time with a double. Devin has 17 hits in his last 12 games. Fly ball into deep left center. Long run for Gomez. He's going to get there and makes the catch. Kevin Pilar's retired on a deep fly ball to left center. Boy, the Astros, a couple of great relief outings from Chris Davinsky last night. 4 1/3 of scoreless, hitless relief. He didn't walk a batter and struck out 7
in a row. In a row, those 7. I don't believe I've ever seen that before.
We saw Jay Happ a couple of years ago strike out 6 Rangers in a row. I actually caught Steve Busby at AAA, and he struck out 8 in a row. But yeah, anytime you string that kind of
what was the
together.
major league record? Was 10?
Major league record is 10. American League record, what did I say, 9? By
I know one
Doug
of them
Fister.
Yeah.
10 is Tom Seaver. Yeah.
And Blue Jays just couldn't figure him out at all. And right now they haven't been able to figure out Joe Musgrove.
Devin Travis hits a fly ball into center field. Gomez gets there and makes the catch. Leadoff walk and then 2 fly balls to center. It's a 1-run game. Blue Jays lead at 2-1.
Got to figure out a way to get that leadoff walk to come around to score. You know, people talk about the Blue Jays, you know, they're not swinging the bats well, but you got to take advantage of mistakes, and the leadoff walk is a mistake. Trying to get some of those add-on runs.
Blue Jays are 11 and 19 in 1-run games. Tonight they don't have their closer, Roberto Osuna, so Jason Grilli will come on to pitch the 9th. Danny Barnes made his major league debut in the 8th inning, gave up a 2-out single, but recorded a couple of strikeouts. Melvin Upton with a base hit to left field. Rasmus over to cut it off. Saunders stops at second, and Upton has had a 2-hit game. Roberto Osuna has pitched in 3 straight, and he's pitched a lot since the All-Star break. He's appeared in 9 of the 15 games since the All-Star break. And he's pitched very well, but you need to take care of him. He pitched in 6 of the last 9 games, 3 of the last 4, and 2 in a row.
Yeah, he's not a robot. You gotta take care of him, like you said.
Go to second. Correa thought they got Saunders, but second base umpire practitioner waved Saunders safe, and see A.J. Hinch get the update from the video room.
One more time, we have seen in the 2 games here against Houston, he missed the tag, number 1. In these 2 games against the Astros, that they are not afraid to throw behind those runners and to try to get those pickoffs at second base. What you want to do as a base runner, especially at second base, get your primary lead, your normal lead, where you don't get picked off. Where you create the distance is in your secondary lead when the ball is going towards home.
Trey Hillman, the bench coach for the Astros, got the news from the video room not to challenge the call. Josh Tolley, the catcher, 1 for 3. A couple of big runs on base for the Blue Jays.
Very shallow. Excuse me.
Add on some runs.
Very shallow in left field. Very shallow in center field. And we were talking earlier about the assists that the outfielders have here in Houston.
Colby Rasmus picked up an outfield assist in the 3rd when he threw out Josh Donaldson at second base. Houston now has 33 outfield assists. Inside. Rasmus is very shallow, as you mentioned, and he's really playing in tight.
Trying to cut off that run at the plate. There's a lot of room in right center field for Josh Tolley.
That'll help out this situation as it goes to 3-1 now. Tolley can be a little more selective here. Darwin Barney And the 9th hole is on deck. Now it's a full count, and the runners will be off on the pitch. Saunders from second, Upton from first. Strikes out. Joe Musgrove has set a franchise record with 8 strikeouts in his major league debut, pitching in relief. It's still a 1-run game as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Jason Grilli coming on. He'll face Rasmus, Gomez, and Reed when we come back to Houston.
The checkered flag event is back, celebrating over 50 years of racing heritage in every Honda.
What a major league debut for Joe Musgrove. He sets a franchise record by striking out 8 in his major league debut, pitching out of the bullpen. Jason Grilli has 1 save for the Blue Jays this season. He is 3 for 5 on the season, going back to his time in Atlanta. He had a save on June 12th against the Orioles in Rogers Center.
Talk about strikeouts. How about Jason Grilli? 13 per 9 innings. He has done a heck of a job since the Blue Jays got it from the Atlanta Braves back in May. He will close tonight with Roberto Osuna unavailable. He will face some home run hitters and some hitters who have faced him in the past. Carlos Gomez has faced him, the next batter. 8 times he's hit a home run against him.
Colby Rasmus will start things off here in the bottom of the ninth. The Blue Jays last night went into the ninth trailing 1-0 and tied it up on a Russell Martin home run. Rasmus has not had an official at bat. He is 0 for 0 against Jason Grilli. He has a plate appearance late on that high fastball.
Colby's a good low ball hitter. We saw that in his years with the Toronto Blue Jays. He can golf that ball out of the ballpark. That's why when you throw him a fastball, I think you got to throw it above his hands.
Breaking ball into third. Gets back all the way to the backstop. 2-1 now. 77 saves for Grilli for his career. Grilli had a career-high 33 saves pitching for the Pirates in 2013. Breaking ball hit on the ground. Barney comes across in front of Travis to make the play, 1 out. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed in Honka Osman. Thank you very much, Shivanka. That's all coming up right after this game, so stay tuned for that. Here is the matchup Pat was talking about. Carlos Gomez against Jason Grilli.
And you know, he's got one thing on his mind right now. So you got to be very careful. Right there. I think that's the pitch right there. That slider down and away can get him. He's thinking about hooking the ball into the seats in left field. Watch his front foot. That front foot steps towards third base. So you got to keep the ball away from him.
Another breaking ball. Interesting dynamic with Grilli pitching and Gomez at the play. A couple of years ago in Pittsburgh when Gomez was in Milwaukee, they had a big fight. Gomez slid into third base and Travis Snyder got involved. Russell Martin got involved, and it was a pretty animated fight.
Yes.
Ball and a strike, 1 out. Jason Grilli trying to protect this 1-run lead. R.A. Dickey, the pitcher of record, trying to win for the first time here at Minute Maid Park. He was great. 7 innings. He allowed 6 hits and a single run. Didn't walk a batter and struck out 5. Gomez tried to drop a bunt down. Not a bad idea with his speed. Strike 12 stolen bases.
Yeah, strike 2 though. Tough to bunt with 1 strike because it has to be perfect. If you bunt it back to the mound, you're out. If you bunt it foul, it's strike 2. It has to be perfect. Now you got to finish him off.
Fastball away in a good spot, and all Gomez could do was foul off. Gomez has been dealing with a hamstring issue. He was not in the lineup in game 1 of this 4-game series.
Yeah, I think he missed 4 games with that hamstring problem. There's Josh Donaldson guarding the line just a little bit. Just a couple of steps towards that line. No doubles. There's the outfield also very deep, trying to cut off anything in the gaps.
Saunders is really over in the left center alley, as there's no reason to protect the left field line. If it's hit hard, it's going to be off the scoreboard. Very inviting left field wall, just 315 down the left field line. Got him. Oh, what a good pitch. He dropped that breaking ball on him and took it just a little bit farther outside. 2 outs.
I think that was all set up by that 2-2 fastball that he threw, and it fouled back. Then he put fastball in the mind of Carlos Gomez, and he can do this. Breaking ball down and away, and he can't reach it. Good sequence right there by the veteran Jason Grilli.
A.J. Reed in his first game back from AAA has gone 0 for 3 with a strikeout. R.A. Dickey looking for his 8th win of the season. It's his 23rd start of the year.
That was Tim Leeper in charge of the outfielders. Where they want to play Reed. He's got some power. I told you last time he was up 34 home runs last year in the minor leagues.
Laid off that breaking ball. 2-1 now. R.A. Dickey went 7. Danny Barnes made his major league debut tonight. He pitched an inning. He gave up a single to Altuve, but struck out a pair. His first big league game. Ground ball. Barney up the middle, goes to first, and that's the ball game. Jason Grilli picks up his 4th save of the season, and that makes a winner out of R.A. Dickey. Big bats tonight. Jose Bautista, his 300th career home run, and Edwin Encarnacion, his 29th of the season. That was enough for R.A. Dickey. That's all he needed tonight.
What a big win for the Blue Jays. 2 very tough games the last couple of days, extra inning games. They lost both of them. Tonight they come out and gut out